Hi, everyone. I am Allison Lamano. I am one of the co-founders of Jersey Shore Women in Tech. You guys can see my presentation, right? So a little bit about us. Like I said, I'm Allison Lamano. I'm the product management lead at a company called Define Logic. Our headquarters is in Red Bank, New Jersey, and we are a consultant and application development, software development, marketing. We pretty much do everything digital that companies need done. Jenna Gaudio, who is not here, she's away this week. She is Chief Operating Officer at Vidya and our Executive Director. And then we also have Brittany. Brittany, I don't know, do you just want to introduce yourself? Brittany is our software engineering.
Yes, sorry, I lost my tab.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Software engineering manager of Vidya.
So a little bit about our background. So we actually were established in 2017. I was actually talking to someone today and I said it was 3 years, but it's really more than that. So we're actually, is this really correct, Brittany? We're going on 5 years since our initial idea of starting Jersey Shore.
Well, 4 years, 18.
Yep. So we actually had our first event in 2018. In January, but we in 2017, Brittany and I were at another Women in Tech event, a local event, and we realized that we didn't know anyone, and we were like, how do we not know half of these women at this event? So Jersey Shore Women in Tech was born, and February 2019, Jenna Gaudio joined us as our executive director. And our mission is to support, educate, mentor, and develop a network for women in the information technology industry. We're focused on building and maintaining a local community that will fulfill the needs of women in tech, both personally and professionally. And we also have been doing community outreach, which involves sending girls from Asbury Park schools to coding and robotics camp. So Brittany, do we actually have an update on that?
Just the update is, the latest camp just ended, actually. It was really successful. This past summer we did with the Asbury Park schools. They have like a special program in the summer. So this past time it was for, what was it? I want to say 6th grade girls, which is like really the sweet spot for getting kids interested in technology. And they had an absolute blast. Part of the scholarship was that they got to have their own hardware to take home. So Raspberry Pis and whatnot, things to put together so that they can continue to work on and tinker with the stuff that they learned on in class, and, you know, continue to learn and kind of like foster that passion for technology.
Awesome.
Yep.
Thanks for that update. And there we go. There's a slide. You can also follow us if you're not following us. We're on all the social channels, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. We also have our own private group on Facebook that you can join, Jersey Shore Women in Tech. So it's there for you. We have a great community of people that are always willing to help out. If you have something that you want to celebrate, you got a new job, promotion, or raise. If you have any suggestions for either feature speakers or topics that you're interested in, that's also the place to post that. You can share articles and blogs. If you got press yourself, that's a place to give yourself a shout out. And if you're looking for a job, or if you're hiring, or you know someone who's hiring, it's just a great community. We also have had people that have found employment opportunities just through networking in that group. We're also always looking for speakers. You can find our speaker application at jerseyshorewomενintech.com. If you know anyone who's interested, you can either send them a link to our speaker event or have them contact us and we can send them the speaker application. We are actually booked through December right now, so we'll be looking for speakers for the new year. And now for our sponsors. So our new sponsor for starting in the month of September is rarity. And we have Jackie on the line. Jackie, do you want to say a little bit about your digital marketing company?
Sure, thank you. So I am the VP of marketing. I guess I'll put my camera on.
You don't have to.
Okay. So I'm the VP of marketing at marketing operations at Literati, which is a woman-owned full service marketing firm. Anita O'Malley is actually the founder and CEO. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here tonight. She had family emergency. We do live on the Jersey Shore, which is very nice. Literati was founded there and definitely founded on the desire to create opportunities for business growth and not only just throw some marketing campaigns out there and hope to God that you get ROI. We actually are very results driven. So outsourced marketing has become so popular in the recent decade. A lot of companies are looking to hire firms rather than departments due to the cost effectiveness, of course. But what really sets our firm apart is that you get a team of senior level experts that understand the business of IT. And much like you, we have held large positions in IT firms. I was a senior account manager at an IT company, solution provider. Before that, I was the director of marketing at a cloud manufacturer company. And that's just my background. And there are a whole plethora of people who just saw the need for help in specifically IT for marketing. And it's such a specific niche to understand. And we wanted to get the right marketing out there. So, like I said before, we are very results driven. We understand that not all marketing solutions work for every client. So we pride ourselves in the fact that we talk to your team and understand your company before we give you a setup of marketing campaigns or anything like that. Marketing has to be specific to that company. And then we'll give you turnkey campaigns that help your sales department and your marketing department. If you already have one, we can work as an arm. So we do have a marketing tip for you guys today. We'll do them every time that we talk. It's about LinkedIn, your brand and your profile. One of our core strengths is, yes, I love tips too. Aren't they great? And they're free. One of our core strengths at Literati is that we work with the employees to help them build their expert brand, especially sales teams or senior level people. And it definitely improves your ROI and it improves your sales, which in IT, that's really what keeps you running. So first, we start with optimizing your LinkedIn profile, which is, especially in sales, what is front facing to your clients. It makes that first initial impression before someone contacts you or you contact them. So like I said, at each meeting, we will, give you the tip. We will tell you something that you can immediately act upon yourself and see the results. So I'm going to read Anita's tip for you today. So LinkedIn default headline is where your latest job title, which is your default headline. If you go onto your LinkedIn profile, it's directly under your profile picture and normally where you would state your job title. She's talking. So she says that your headline is your latest job title right now. I just said that. Populate the valuable headline real estate under your name with keywords for your industry rather than your title. LinkedIn algorithm views that this area is the number one for search when people search your expertise that they want to come up in their results. For example, if you're a software engineer, you could use words like IT software specialist / data center expert / app dev. So basically what she's saying is that instead of having your title there, you really want things that you specialize in and do 3 to 4 of them. Mine should say something like content creation expert, marketing management or something, or marketing, IT marketing, something in the realm of that and not my job title, because in the algorithm of LinkedIn, this is where your keywords are. So if someone tries to search someone who has that job or that expertise, that's where they're going to find you. And you can look up Anita O'Malley to see her headline. You can look up my name, Jackie Chalet. Please connect with us. And you can look at our headlines and our bios. And then our call to action is that we are offering a half hour with either myself or Anita. It's a live mastering LinkedIn Power profile session. We go through your profile with you and we change anything that we see fit. We, highlight your bio. We'll change your headline with you if you aren't sure what keywords to use. And that's a free half hour. It is a 2-session thing that we do to 100% of our clients. They pay for these sessions and we do it to entire sales teams. And then we'll individually go if they need it with each salesperson. But we're offering it to you guys. I highly recommend taking advantage of it. You will see the difference. You will definitely see the difference. I'll put my email if you are interested in doing that in the chat here. And if you guys want to share my email afterwards, of course you could do that. And then if you do like free tips once a month, we do have our newsletter, and in there is a free tip for anyone who's interested in more marketing tips. And that's it. That's Literati. That's me. And it is nice to meet you all.
Thank you, Jackie. Great tip. And then our other sponsor is Vidya. Brittany, do you want to give a little spur about Vidya?
Sure. Do we have a blurb on the next slide? If not, I can.
Oh yeah. Do we still have that on here? No.
Okay. So Vidya is pretty much an end-to-end platform for music professionals. So creators, managers, labels. Our technology provides the infrastructure for audio and video distribution. So that's to, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, everything like that. Content protection, rights management, advanced payments, and also data tracking as well. And we do have some current openings. I'll post the link in the chat, but right now we have openings for director of sales, DevOps, data engineer, office manager, and executive assistant, although I believe that one might be filled, but you never know because sometimes things fall through. So if you're interested, always apply. VP of strategic business development and head of creative marketing and experience. So if you're interested in any of those, I'll drop the link here.
Great. Thank you, Brittany. So next month, we are going to have an event with Danielle Cobo. She's a leadership and career coach, from uncertainty to clarity, how to accelerate your career. So that's going to be Tuesday, October 19th, 6:30 p.m. It's also an online event. And that's going to be October's event. And now for the main event, Jenny, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yep. Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. There's a fridge in the back here, so it's making noise. So every once in a while it cycles on. So if it's too much, let me know. I'm Jenni Clark, and I am very happy to be here tonight. And I am the founder and CEO of Star Thrower Group Incorporated. We are a organization with a community center so that young adults with special needs have a place to be during the day while they transition from that time of being a student to being an adult. What happens is that they become graduated from high school, and then the ones that we work with, the people that we work with, are independent enough that they can be left home and they're self-sufficient enough, but they don't drive. They're having difficulty finding jobs because of their different special needs. The jobs that they're finding, they may not want them for more than a couple hours a day. They can only work 20 hours a week. Transportation becomes an issue. Loneliness becomes an issue. All kinds of barriers to being included in the community. So what I came up with was this community center where the members, we call them their members, they join the organization and they become a part of this great group who then spends the day doing projects that they want to work on. They're interested in something, we pursue it. It helps build critical thinking skills. It helps build problem-solving skills. We also spend time working on academic skills that they need some polishing on or struggle with, and help them to find the accommodations that they need to be successful. I have one wonderful woman who is probably 28, I think, and she's from Poland. So Polish is her first language. So she's learned English and speaks English fluently. She goes back and forth between the two like nothing. She can't read and write in either language because of her disability. It has been a barrier. So we use a lot of technology to help her to accomplish the things that she wants to do. And I'll tell you more about her in a little bit. What I wanted to share with you tonight, and I'm not a tech person. I am not, math is not my thing, computers, but I grew up using computers. I mean, we had the box that was like this big when I was in, I don't know, 4th or 5th grade, I guess. And it was a Mac. I don't know what it was, but it was a box that was like this. And, we've always had some kind of computer classes ever since I was in about, I would say 4th grade. And so I've grown up learning it and trying it. And there's a lot of people I know who are afraid to do anything because they don't want to mess it up. And I try to help everybody to say, look, if you mess it up, we go back and we fix it. And I've learned enough to be less afraid of computers. I also know that I cannot live without my computer, my phone, things like that. So what I wanted to do in my career is throughout, I've always worked as a teacher. I worked with my church as a religious formation coordinator. And I wanted to make it easy for the parents, make it easy for everybody. And what struck me early on, back in like 99, 2000-ish, as I was starting to work with the Girl Scouts, I was a director of volunteers and training. So I'm trying to develop trainings, and parents are busy. We have kids, we have jobs, we have all this stuff going on. So I said, let's put the trainings online. Well, nobody else was doing this. And my IT person at the Girl Scout Council, we talked about it and we figured out how we were going to do it. And we knew, well, when we first did it, we didn't know. And we created stuff. And then I would get all these calls that we can't open that file. We can't, we can't get that to work, or we can't see it, or is there sound? I can't hear it. So I learned very quickly that, not everybody is working. And we had, as a nonprofit, we had, last year's computers. It wasn't like we had the newest, latest and greatest either. But what we learned is that a lot of the moms who were home were either waiting for their husbands to get home so they could use his computer, or he can set them up on it because they don't know how to do it, or it's his old computer and it barely runs. So that was the first thing that helped me to dawn on the fact that, not everybody has got the same technology. So when I create anything, I try to make sure that it works with everybody's computers as much as I can. Okay. So that's one of the first things that I've always thought about, and on their phones now that we're all on phones, I try to make sure that we are able to open things on their phones as well. And a lot of our members have the older phones and things like that. So we try to make sure that, I got a background. See, look at my tech here. I can't even get the mirror in the back. There we go. Yeah, it does make it harder if they can't open anything, because what's the point of having the training if they can't use it? So I wanted to show you what I call is training. Where's my screen here? Nope, it's not going to show me my screen. See, look at me with my tech. I'm not even able to get it up here. I have to open it in the other one. But basically, ever hear this saying, KISS, K-I-S-S? In Girl Scouts, we used to say, keep it simple, sister. But we all know it's keep it simple, stupid. Because if you get too bogged down with bells and whistles, you're going to lose people. And unfortunately, the bells and whistles make it fun, but it's not something that makes it accessible to everybody. So what we do with Star Thrower Group is we opened 3 years ago in 2018. And then our office was overcome by mold, because I said to the landlord, hey, you know, there's water in the basement. He said, it's a 300-year-old house. Of course, there's going to be water in the basement. And I said, it's 2018. People have figured out ways to keep water out of the basement. You need to find one of them. So back and forth with this, we finally moved out of that office and kind of squatted in a few different places for a while. And then COVID hit. And by the time COVID hit, we were a year and a half into this organization and this project. And so I'm panicked, because the whole purpose of this is to keep our members so that they're not sitting home alone. They're not isolated from everybody else. They have a place to be so that they're together, because they went from being in school where everybody tells you where to be and when to be there and how to do it and what's not to do and what to do. And they always have people around them, to being stuck home, and mom is at work, dad's at work, friends are out, nobody can get to each other because they don't have transportation. Where we live, it's not rural, it is rural. It's not where you can actually get around very easily. So when they said it's COVID, the place that we were using to run our facility until we had a new building was government owned. And they said, nope, we're shutting everything down. So Monday we are putting a lock on the door. And they physically put a chain with a bolt on the door. So we had to dump everything in boxes and get out fast. So we worked from home for the next however many. So March 13th, my calendar says March 13th, that's the last day that I ripped off. On March 16th, we were online. I said, we have to be there for our members. They can't be home alone. So what we came up with is using the Google platform, which is what they use in the schools, which is why we went with it. But using the Google platform, we started using Google Meet. And the first week was just everybody on Google Meet talking, getting used to it, learning how to use the software and reviewing it, because again, not everybody could get on. And we worked out some of the bugs. Then what we decided to do was take the Google Meet and make basically each staff member now has a virtual office. So you can go to my office anytime. I have it, I'm not always in it, obviously, just like a regular college professor. You can go there, you can make an appointment and say, hey, can I meet you in your office at 9 a.m. so we can discuss whatever. This is a very simple thing to do. And again, because the members had used Google throughout their time in high school, it worked out really well. So they've been doing that. And my biggest thing is that there are members still who are not back in the office because their conditions make it too risky for them to leave the house until COVID is gone, which, you know, I don't know. One is back in the hospital, actually. So she is, you know, calling us all day and visiting with us remotely, which is wonderful. So again, going back to it, it's that KISS, keep it simple, stupid, because the more things that we try to add on, or the more things that you try to do and advance it, the less that they could get to it. And it's not just because of the technology, it's also because of the Wi-Fi. Some people, if you don't have strong enough Wi-Fi, then your computer isn't running fast enough and it seems to lock everything up. And that tends to be the issue a lot of the times as well. So what I wanted to do is basically, it's about connection and making sure that everybody can be connected. So we get on every day. We are there for them from 10 till 2. And then there may be what we call clubs where they can get back together and meet. We do recipe club, we do job club, and those are scheduled in the after hours for like an extracurricular. So I'm trying to make this not like school, but it's not necessarily college or work either. So it becomes very interesting, but it has been very successful, and they have been able to, there are very few of the members who can't get online. There are some who don't have the attention span or the physical ability to sit in front of a computer all day, but there are some who that's the only company they have all day. And I would not stop doing it for the world, because it would be harmful to them, I believe. So I really have worked diligently to kind of make sure that everything is very easy for everybody to use and it's accessible. One day I'll be able to figure out how to also make it so that we can do it where there is the sound, like audio things that we can add in, and closed captioning and all of that stuff. But most of them don't, there's a lot that don't read. So it's trying to throw everything in there without gumming up the system. So what I wanted to do is, and I have basically, I'm not a tech person. Like I said, I have a friend who's in Colorado who does my tech for me, because we can do it remotely and it works. And so she is who I turn to. And that's the other thing that I've done, is looking at how we track our members, our vendors, our clients, all of that, how we track all of that. There are systems in place. There is a system that the state put in place that they tried to mandate that everybody has to use, but it's geared more towards medical facilities. Instead of, like, our facility is so different than what everybody else is doing, because we treat people like people, and we focus on that as opposed to the diagnosis and the program and things. So the software wasn't really going to work for us. And we spent the last 3 years, like I said, I'm not IT whiz or anything, but I said, there has to be a way to do this. And I found a program called QuickBase, which is we have it online through it's QuickBase. And so my friend Mary in Colorado is helping me to build this. And it's kind of a plug and play, but it's like a puzzle. You're trying to pull the right formulas and the right, data into different configurations to make reports for what you need to do. So every day, and then the main part of that is for my staff to make sure that it's accessible on their phone and it's easy. So that as they're going through their day, I heard somebody mention, and I apologize, I can't remember who it was, that they were a job coach. And our job coaches go out into the field, and our goal is to be discreet and to help our people with dignity and discretion. Because I don't want to be there and say, you're not doing it right, do it this way, and embarrass them. They're at work, and they're adults, and they're humans, and they deserve to be pulled aside. They deserve to be given a chance to try and let their manager fix things. We step in, we work in the community center, where we say, I saw you at work the other day, and you really weren't doing a great job of getting, whatever done. And what do you think you can do better? What do you struggle with? How can we help you do it better? We do that in our office instead of in the store, so that they have a private place to work on that and practice and get more comfortable with the task that they have to do. So basically what we try to do, and I forget the whole point of that thing, but being a job coach. Oh, so when you're in the store, like I go to Stop and Shop, and I go shopping, but I'm watching my client, but I look like everybody else in the store. I'm not there with my computer or a big clipboard or anything like that. Like I'm, testing somebody. It's very natural. They don't know that I'm there unless he needs me. And they know that I'm there because they see me every day. I'm there at shop, but when I'm there, I'm trying to do it discreetly, and I put in their information on my phone. It's very easy to enter it, and I try to keep it up that way. So basically, using the technology, I've always said there has to be a way to do this. And I just keep asking people until I find somebody who says, oh yeah, we could do that, because there has to be. It's 2021. We have the technology. It is available. And you don't have to have a master's or a PhD in computer science to be able to make these things happen. Because everything that we have access to on our phones, our apps and everything like that, all of the videos that we make for our organization are usually made on somebody's phone. And that makes it accessible to our members. And we use, what is the program? PhotoMine, and what's the other one? I don't remember what the other one is, but there's PhotoMine is the one I know we use that one. And the members are learning how to do that. And they're learning how to make these videos. And we encourage them to be on social media, to be on TikTok, because that is where, and LinkedIn, we are right now working with all of them to build their LinkedIn profile, because it has reemerged as something where it's high up there. And for a while, I think LinkedIn became, I don't know, everybody, it kind of went out of fashion, and it has come back. And I feel like it's improved a lot in the last couple of years. So I'm encouraging all of our members to build their profile. And so we work with them every day to do that. So getting them to practice all of that and have access to that technology has been very, very important. So Margaret says, how ironic. This is exactly just what I started. This is my first webinar. Awesome. So one of the other things, I think it's funny because when I started doing all of this with Girl Scouts, I needed more time. And as a mom, I needed more flexibility. So I said, look, I don't want to go to these trainings either. Let me do them online. And we started to be able to build that and to do that. I started with something really easy. We work with PowerPoint. Well, now I use with Google Sheets, but same thing like that. And then I look at it and say, okay, is it going to work on my phone, but let me see who's got the worst phone here, and does it work? And that's what I look for. Because if it works on, you know, the flip phone from 1999, it's going to work for everybody else. We also have iPads. I think they are, I want to say second or third generation iPads. That's what we have for our members in the office. I was donated, somebody gave us like 7 or 10 iPads, and we can't download any apps on them because none of the apps work with them, but I can use them to get to the internet. And any of the apps that still work just from the internet are the ones that we use because they're easy to get to. And they're usually easier to use, more user-friendly, because there's not as many bells and whistles and things like that that slow it down or make it more confusing. So we try to use that as much as possible. And I know a lot of programs, when they get there, they have to put their phones away. I don't do that. They're adults. They need to learn how to balance their time with the tech. So we do try to keep, I try to get them to use it. They ask me a question. I'm like, that sounds like a question for Google, doesn't it? You know, and hey, Siri, can you tell me blah, 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 you know? So I'm always like, well, let's get your phone. Let's check the answer. We have the answer right here. And the calendar and the alarms, we have alarms going off all day. Every hour, the alarm goes off and it's, you know, drink water. And we all try to drink some water. So trying to get everybody to use the technology, the only way they're going to use it is if it's easy and it's convenient. And I think the whole thing about having a phone, once they started putting everything on the phone, I'm like, that is the phone that I need, because this is what I have with me everywhere. My books are on here, everything. The other thing is when we do presentations and workshops every day. So we have what's called the DOOM. It's the Daily Order of Operational Mayhem. And basically the DOOM is all of the staff has their workshops planned out and when they're going to meet with different members. So we use this old, you know, Excel spreadsheet with Google Sheets. But it's typically, that's all it is. It's an Excel spreadsheet that we copy and paste every week, and we fill in the lines. We all use it because it is easy. It's not confusing. I love Google because I can see it and everybody can save things real time. And so I have a woman who's helping us. Our gala is this Saturday. And there's a woman who's helping us. Can you send me the spreadsheet with everybody's names? I said, I sent it to you. You just have to log back into it. It's updated as you go. And I can't tell you how many times I've had to tell her that over and over again. But it's okay, because she's finally figuring it out, because I've been on my computer and showed her while she's sitting on the other one and said, look, I'm in here typing at the same time that you are. And it's a great way to collaborate, because we're all looking at the document and able to make edits at the same time. So in meetings, my CEO at my last job, he said, I don't have a laptop. I said, well, you're the CEO. You need to figure that out. I said, but the rest of us have the laptop. I can put the document on the screen here. We're working on writing a grant. I can put that grant up on the screen so we can all see it, and then we can edit it in real time together, instead of I'm reading it and you're reading it and this one's reading it. And again, this isn't something, I am not a genius when it comes to computers, but I know there is a way to do this, and it isn't hard. You just, first of all, you just have to ask, but you can look it up on Google. So I spend a lot of time trying to encourage people, like, this looks like something, wouldn't it be cool if we could do that? Guess what? We can. And that's something that I feel has been very, very helpful in this, because we try different things. It doesn't always work. We go back a step, always go back to the lower technology, the lower version, because that's going to get you there, and then work your way back up in what's bells and whistles that you're going to add to it. Does anybody have any questions so far? I know I'm like, blah, blah, blah.
I just have a question. So, are there any issues with, like, because you need a Google Gmail account, right, in order to use Google? Or you don't?
No.
You can. Okay, that was my misunderstanding.
If they have the link, just like Zoom, if they have the link, they can get to it.
Okay.
If they're working on a document together, as long as you give them permission to see the document, they can have access. And I do think that it's easier if you have a Gmail account, but it's not mandatory.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that was the case, because I could see that being an issue for a lot of people. And I don't know, is that an issue? Like, I forgot my password, and like,
oh yeah.
I know that's an issue for me sometimes.
Well, and the funny thing is you can join the Google Classroom, or what, not Classroom, the meeting. You can join the meeting, but they give you this stupid option that you can join as the presenter. But if you're not the presenter, it really won't let you join as that. So I don't know why that option is there. I've written to Google, and I do that. I write to Google all the time, and I've actually gotten responses, which is amazing to me, but I love it, because you have to, you know, here's what I'm trying to do. Why isn't this working? And they do get back to me. I'm amazed every time. So, you know, getting in there and asking them, like, why is this happening? Why can't they do this? Or why do they even have that option? We all have to take a jump and try it too, to see what happens. We could have gone with Microsoft. I didn't, because it's more expensive. And I felt like, because again, all of my members, we were already working in the high school when I was working with them there. With Google, they already had a foundation. So I wanted to build off of that. But I have found I actually do prefer it. And the Microsoft and OneDrive and all of the Windows stuff makes me crazy sometimes, because, you know, you aren't logged into this, you aren't logged into that. With Google, you log in, you're done. So there's my little blurb on that. So basically what I've tried to do is, again, base everything off of the lowest level of technology that everybody has. If I'm not, I know my group that I'm working with, and then I try to build up from that. I think that, again, if you can say, wouldn't it be cool if we do this? It would. You can figure it out. Like, find somebody. There are people out there, and they can help you, or whatever. Or there's software out there. I was going crazy trying to find. There's caregiver software, because we have my elderly father-in-law I'm in the nursing home right now doing this presentation. He's across the hall. So we're trying to juggle caregivers, and honestly, like, I spent some time. I'm like, let me find a different app for them, you know, and I do this right in front of my members because I want them to see me problem solving with technology, using the technology to solve the problems that we're having in our daily lives as adults. And if it messes up, or if I make a mistake, I let them know that too. Okay, this didn't work. What do we do next time? And that way you can keep moving forward with that. So let's do this. Everybody's got the chat open, which I can see. So what I was going to do is, you can stay muted. When we do our workshops during the day, everybody's typing in the chat, which one of the, I'll look up the caregiving app in a second. One of the great things that came out of the whole pandemic is that all of a sudden, my people who said, oh, I don't know how to read, all of a sudden they were reading, because we were typing weird things in the chat and people were laughing about it and they were missing out. And all of a sudden they were starting to figure it out. So we actually, if I love data and stuff like that, to where you're measuring it and saying, okay, wow, look at this growth. But I wasn't paying attention to that because I was paying attention to what we were trying to do. But if I had been capturing that, like who was reading at this level and now what level are they reading at? Because there has been a growth. And I'm just amazed. And the technical skills. Some of them are now doing the presentations and workshops. They're making videos. Like, we've built kind of a training system, and they don't even know they're learning, which is beautiful. I love that. That's always good. It's like kids, I'm sneaking vegetables into the brownies. Don't tell them. So I'll get back to you with the caregiving app. I got to look it up here. So let's talk about, like, thoughts and comments about what questions you have about keeping it simple and using technology in this way. And you can put them in the chat or wherever. I'm looking up the caregiving. It's Circle of, it's called Circle of. So far, it's pretty good. It's not my favorite, but it's pretty good. It says create a team to manage care with help from friends and family. So it's been pretty good. The hard thing is my sisters-in-law are not participating. So that makes it a little tricky if they're not going to play with us. So the other thing that we spend a lot of time reminding everybody, did I try a tool? It didn't work. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a lot. We had, it is QuickBooks Time, their timesheets. It just was not, it's good, but it's not the best. And we wanted to try to incorporate it into our charting, which is through QuickBase. And so what we've done is, when you're juggling two different apps, it's like, okay, I just got to the Stop and Shop, so let me sign in my timesheet, and then let me open my other program and let me do my charting, and then, I got to go back to the timesheet because I got to sign out. I didn't want that because my job coaches are busy. I want them to focus on my clients, the members. So what we did is, like I said, I've been developing this app through QuickBase. And I chose it because it really was something that, here's how you build a database. And they have lots of support. And I have learned a lot, but I also am very grateful that I have my friend Mary, who is actually devoted her time. And now I hired her to actually manage that. So she goes to all the QuickBase seminars and she learned how to do it. They have meetings on Thursdays just to brainstorm and talk about what we're doing and how we can make it better. And there's so many different companies that use this database. And I did it because we spent 2 years before that trying to use Microsoft Access. How many of you use Access, or have even, it's old? Yeah, QuickBase.com. And so we were trying to do that, where, that Microsoft Access, and trying to get it to work with a database and this and that, and it was just too complicated. So when I saw QuickBase, and it took me a long time to find it, I was always like, oh, there's got to be a better thing. Let me keep searching. So we found it, and I really, it's a little expensive, but it is the core of my business because it keeps track of I can click on it and see their contact information. I can see what services they have. I can find their address. I can see their picture. I can see their allergies. I can see the last 5 things that everybody was working on with them. And it's perfect. The major pain point is that we're still building it and we're using it and we're building it. And then as we figure something out, like the latest thing is now they can sign in and out on the computer as they enter the building, because we have to do COVID checks and we have to do temperature and all of that stuff, because that's what the state requires. So the state thing, we don't ask the whole thing of questions every day. We just click off. We read it on Monday and then we check it off. And then the rest of the week, they just have to put their temperature and they just check it off. But that's all part of that same QuickBase application. And so as we add new things, everybody's like, oh, this is such a pain, blah, blah, blah. But they'll know it by next week and they'll be fine. Having that then helps me to go back. Now tonight, my joy is I get to read everybody's charts from all of their work from the last week and make sure that it was, sometimes QuickBase double enters, like it doesn't look like it's entering because your Wi-Fi is slow, and then you hit enter again and it goes in twice. So then it shows up, you know, a couple of times on the spreadsheet when I print the report.
So Jenny, is the tool that you use for on-the-job training, is that something that was built in QuickBase, or is that something else? I know Margaret was asking about it.
Well, the tool we use for the on-the-job training for our clients is Google. It really is. Okay. We're in these workshops and we're pulling up YouTube, we're pulling up whatever we can find. We pull up articles because I want them to see, you have a question about something, Google has the answer. Look it up and let's read the article together and let's talk about it. It's kind of like when I was doing my master's program, and it was so great where we had to, oh wait, I found this article, I want to share it with you, you know, and I loved that. And that's what we do every day. But yeah, so the main one is for the members is Google, because that's, like I said, what they know. But then for the staff, it is QuickBase. Okay. And so those are the 2 main ones, because I really wanted to consolidate them. The members do use the QuickBase to sign in and out now. So they are now using it as well. And I'd love it to be where they could get into it and use different features, but we're not close to that yet. So when we're doing on-the-job training, the other thing is that the state provides us with a lot of our stuff as well. So like our training program is through a company called Elsevier, ELSEVIR, I think. And, but that's through the state. So I don't know that that's like necessarily accessible or whatever, but those are our bloodborne pathogens training, and, you know, don't tie people up and beat them when you're working with them, and that kind of stupid stuff that everybody should know, but obviously didn't because there's a training now. So yeah, that's not through us. So my biggest thing is definitely find your program, do your research, and there's something out there. Somebody else had, I just kept saying, somebody else had to be like, what if we did this? Or there has to be something out there. We need to do this, so let's create it. And it took me a couple of years to find QuickBase, but it was worth it. It was worth the wait. It was worth the search. And I really find that, again, all of my staff have, it's not something that just kills their technology. It's easy to use, and it was worth the wait. It was worth taking that time and finding it, because I knew I couldn't create it by myself. I tried, I did. Any other questions?
My question was in there. I don't know if you saw it, but I'm just curious if you have still like any major pain points that you haven't figured out yet or found solutions or technology for yet.
I think it's, again, it's the, you know, we're waiting for QuickBase, like, and developing all of those things. Like it takes so long to build it, only because, again, I'm not a tech expert and I'm trying to do this. So my friend Mary is helping me, but I think that's my biggest pain point. As for the cool thing is that the members have taught us, like your phone has an accessibility feature. So I don't know if you can see the button on my phone, but there's a little guy, hold on, let me get there. There we go. In this corner, there's a little guy. And if I click on that, this comes up and I can hit play and it'll read what's on my screen, which is really cool.
Bold, underline, text color, current selected
well, that's
color
where
black.
It's a stupid place to be reading. But if I put it here and then I did it, it'll read whatever.
Humanity, humanities.
I don't know if you can hear
humanities. Open features menu.
So it basically will read to me. And all of the things that, again, your phone has so much in it. Some of them, anyway, most of them today now do. But the members showed me that. Or they do voice to text. So you can tell when they're doing voice to text. I'm sure you all have done this because, you know, and I remember the funny thing is, you know, driving in the car and talking to my phone, trying to send a text message and trying to, you know, I said something about a butt or something and it you know, censored me, which was hysterical, I thought. But in any case, it's definitely something like the things like that, where we have also some members who are nonverbal. So we have Proloquo, which is a program that they can use to point to the pictures. So they can use those pictures to build a sentence. It's not the best app. And that's another one where I've called Google and I said, look, I can say, hey, Google, blah, 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 or Alexa, stop, I'm not talking to you. Alexa, please do blah, 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 you know? So I should be able to, and it can kind of read my mind of what I'm trying to do. You know, your phone is listening and doing everything. So we know that happens. Members who have nonverbal citizens should be able to have like a smartwatch so that when somebody says something to them, it can give them a couple of ideas of what they might respond, how they might respond, and they get to know them and become smart. And this is my idea, don't steal this. And then they can just touch the watch and it'll speak for them. Because having a tablet with all these stupid pictures and you've got to go through all these menus to find the right words is cumbersome. And if they're working with their hands, I'm working at McDonald's, but I want to talk to you, I got to find my tablet, I got to wait for it to wake up again. Those are pain points right there. I want to make sure that accessibility really is accessible. There is another option for people with handicaps that they are limited in their mobility and they can just look at the screen and their eyes are the cursor. So you can look and see and it'll open things and you can blink and it works. So there is the technology out there, but it's not mainstream. And I don't think, you know, parents are busy. Parents are so busy and they just don't have time to look up all this stuff. Teachers aren't aware of it. They're not being kept up to date on it. So it is really important that we start to make these things mainstream, because what we've found also is if I'm not using it, they're not going to use it. So I use Proloquo, even though it's the stupidest program ever, or I use voice to text and I try to show them like, look, I can text this and hit speak and it'll play what I just said. I can type whatever I want to say and I can use this little guy on the bottom and I can make my phone say what I want to tell you. And if I'm doing that and I have a voice, then they'll do it too. So that's basically I think the biggest thing with that. And that's really, I know, I feel like I'm a little bit jumbled and I apologize because of, you know, just where I am. I wasn't expecting to be here tonight. But I am really glad that I got a chance to speak with you and I hope that it was helpful. And I'd love to hear more about your whoever just started their business. Please reach out to me. That would be, where are we? Margaret, I would love to talk to you at some point. That would be beautiful. So my website is www.starthrowergroup.com and we're on there. You can find me, my phone number, my email, all of that stuff. So please check it out. We are having our gala this weekend. So I'm a little crazy this week because we're running around getting ready for that, but celebrating our 3rd year and very excited about that. So, and growing because we are looking to, thank you. We are looking to expand to, my goal is all over, because there are people everywhere that need this kind of a situation, and they're stuck at home and they're alone, and they're not growing anymore. They're just kind of stagnating, and the state is about 2 steps behind. When you graduate from high school, there's a gap, and everybody knows that. So this is something that I'm very passionate about. I thank you for letting me share it with you. And thank you very much. Thank you. And that's it for me. Any other questions?
Thanks, Jenny. This was great. Does anyone have any questions? I'm kind of, I mean, I don't want to drag this on, you know, and I don't know, but, you know, you have me thinking about accessibility and accessibility guidelines, and, you know, that's something that is coming up for a lot of businesses, but the like standards are still very, very low. So I'm just, we have somebody at our company that specializes in accessibility now. He recently came on. So I'm actually interested to talk to him a little bit about this, like nonverbal and what was it? Was it an eyesight issue?
There's an eye, yeah, you can, yeah. And it'll read if you have visual impairments. I mean, I got my crazy glasses on. I feel like my eyeballs are ginormous, but you know, if there's people that have, you know, different visual impairments, then, you know, reading the computer can be really, really tough all day. So to be able to have it read to you is a blessing. And so that we're trying to do, and I'm not perfect. My website is not accessible. It is not. But I show my members how to make it accessible by looking at their phone and using the tools that they have. So I don't necessarily need to upgrade, but people need to be educated on how to get around these things. And we're learning every day. You know, I'm always coming up and finding new things, and every little bit helps. So, you know, we got to keep doing that.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions, anyone? All right. Well, thank you, Jenny. And thank you everyone for coming out tonight.